BRAINY presents Why Self-Awareness Leads to Fewer Friends. Do you ever feel like the more you understand yourself and the more you become aware of who you truly are, the fewer people seem to stay by your side? Well, it's not just in your head. Self-awareness often results in a shrinking social circle. But why does this happen? To answer this question, stick with me, because I'm about to unpack why the phenomenon occurs, why it's not necessarily a bad thing, and how it can actually lead to more meaningful, fulfilling friendships in the long run. Authenticity can push away surface-level connections. First and foremost, self-awareness brings a powerful gift, authenticity. And with authenticity comes an unfiltered version of yourself, one that may not sit well with everyone. You begin to shed the masks you once wore to fit in. No more pretending to like things just because others do. No more engaging in shallow conversations for the sake of social niceties. As a result, those friendships that were built on convenience or surface-level interactions begin to dissolve. For some, this shift is liberating, but for others, it can feel like a loss. Shifting priorities. As you dig deeper into understanding yourself, your goals and priorities inevitably shift. Maybe you're focusing on personal development, advancing your career, or pursuing a passion project, like writing a book or mastering a new skill. These shifts often require your time and energy, leaving less room for socializing. Those random meetups or frequent nights out may start to seem more like distractions. During this process, your social calendar gets lighter, but that's okay because you're making space for what's important to your growth. Emotional maturity and misalignment. With self-awareness comes emotional growth, and thus you start seeing relationships for what they are. Suddenly, you realize that some friendships aren't really adding much to your life anymore. Friends who are less self-aware or less emotionally mature may feel like a mismatch, and this can cause you to naturally drift apart. It's not necessarily personal. It's just that your emotional landscapes are no longer compatible. Sure, this can be tough, but it's like pruning a plant, cutting back to encourage stronger, healthier growth. Fear of influence. Self-awareness also means knowing yourself well enough to recognize how easily you can be influenced. So as you become more self-assured, you start to guard your boundaries and become selective about who gets close to you. You recognize that some friendships might actually pull you away from your path or derail the progress you've made in your personal journey. You've worked hard to get to this point, and you simply don't want external influences swaying the direction you've chosen for your life. Yeah, you might have fewer friendships as a result, but the ones you do have are with people who align with your values and respect the boundaries you've set. Heightened sensitivity to energy and vibes. As self-awareness deepens, so does your sensitivity to the energy around you. You begin to notice when certain environments or even certain people drain your energy. You might feel emotionally exhausted after spending time with friends who emit negativity or who carry their unresolved issues with them. This heightened sensitivity can lead to a quiet but definitive decision to step back from those who drain you. You might find yourself seeking out smaller, more intimate gatherings where the energy feels lighter and more supportive. More time alone for reflection. Self-awareness often brings with it the need for introspection. You start craving solitude because you need space to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. And while this is incredibly beneficial for personal growth, it does mean less time for social engagements. Friends who once thrived on frequent meetups begin to feel neglected or distanced, and might not be able to comprehend why you're choosing solitude over hanging out with them. In truth, it's not about avoiding them. It's about investing in yourself. Self-sufficiency. As you become more self-aware, something else shifts. You become better at handling your own stuff. Emotional turmoil? You've got strategies for that. Need advice? Sometimes you find the best counsel is the one you give yourself. In other words, you pretty much become your own best friend, less reliant on external validation or support. But this also means that you might not reach out as often. And though your independence could be mistaken for disinterest, for you, it's more about being able to handle your own problems without relying on others to help fix them. Misunderstandings. Now here's a kicker. Some might see your journey to self-awareness as you getting too big for your boots or becoming a hermit. As you grow, people around you may struggle to understand the changes you're going through. They can easily mistake your desire for depth and introspection as being distant or even snobbish, when in reality, you're just becoming more acquainted with your own essence. Not everyone is willing to stick around and understand this new version of you, causing misunderstandings that can end certain friendships. Overthinking and overanalyzing. Self-awareness is definitely no walk in the park and can sometimes turn you into an overthinker. Every social interaction gets analyzed. Every conversation is dissected. Did I say the right thing? Did I come off as weird? Etc., etc. Needless to say, such scrutiny can make social situations feel a bit daunting. And when socializing becomes more like a chore than a joy, you might just choose to skip it more often, contributing to a smaller, but likely more curated circle of friends. So, what's the takeaway here? Yes, self-awareness can lead to fewer friends, but let's not forget the upside. The friendships that endure, or the new ones that form, are likely to be of higher quality. They're the friends who appreciate your authenticity, match your emotional maturity, and respect your need for personal space. And perhaps that's the real value of this journey, finding not just who you are, but who is truly meant to walk alongside you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the notification bell. Also, to learn more about many other interesting topics, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.